Hello, didn't see you there. So what I'm doing now is just literally writing everything down on a piece of paper to take it back into SketchUp. Bit of boring work, but I've been thinking what I might be doing is actually putting the epoxy floors on hold, because I still have to wait for the concrete to cure at least for another week. And I'm getting itchy feet and I just want to get moving. So what I think I'm going to do today is actually try and do the ceiling, just as not to waste a weekend. I have a few plans and I've kind of sat down and tried to work it out in my head how to best utilize some of the materials. Went to Bunnings this morning and got everything, so I'll show you what I'm thinking. So I've been thinking about this for a few days and I think about 3 options. I can either put the plywood sheets directly on these top hats here, but the issue is going to be when you get to the end, they're just going to flop down because there's nothing to support them or brace them up. But you can also put some timber up there if I really wanted to. I could get a 4.8 meter or like I said, 16 feet long 1x2s and put them up like this along these top hats here, fix them to that. But it does put a lot of pressure on each one of these things because the force is going to pull it down. I'm sure this is fine. Or the other option I just came up with this morning, it'll save me a bunch of money on timber, but also I think it'd be a little bit more structurally sound is to put them actually above these, kind of rest them in like that. So essentially what these top hats here are doing. I can put as many as I want, I only have to buy half as much timber. So I'm thinking I'll put one on the end, and then every so often in here just to kind of keep it from the plywood from flopping down in the center. And it'll also give me something else to adhere to or fix to if I choose to hang something from the roof. I do plan to eventually have one of those air cleaners, like the 0.5 micron air cleaners, just to kind of circulate the air through and clean out the fine particles of dust. So I think I might go this way, see if it works. But let me know in the comments if you have any other ideas. By that stage, it'll probably be too late and I'll just be kicking myself. So, winning. All right, let's do it. Right, first problem. I want to mount this sheet to the ceiling. These purlines or beams are 150 mil by about 65. So it can be super tempting to just take a measurement straight off the ground here and then hoist it up. But because there's a degree, like a 5-degree pitch to the roof, it's actually going to make it a little bit more difficult because as you increase that angle, the distance increases as well. So that 150 is actually 155 mil. So what I'm going to have to do is use a story stick. So I have a little story stick up there now. I've measured off exactly where those beams stop and start. I've got 2 to work around, and I'm going to take that down and transfer the measurements onto this sheet just to cut around it. I'll show you how I do that now. So here I am up on the ladder. And as you can see, I have my story stick clamped to the ceiling, and I've marked out 2 sides of each of this beam here. It's about 150 millimeters here, 65, and I've just measured that. It's actually about 66, 67. So that kind of shows you how much extra just that little 5-degree angle of the pitch roof gives you. I'll jump up the other end and I'll give you a look at that one as well. Right, probably not my most flattering angle, but I'm up here with the other end of that story stick. Now this is 70 by 35, and as you can see, just on that 5-degree angle of the roof pitch, you can see there's a bit of a gap between the top and the bottom. So that gives you an indication of just how much of a gap can happen just in that little bit of an angle. So I'm going to mark my measurements at the bottom of this instead of the top. It could be super tempting to just mark it at the top and be done, but when I transfer that down to the sheet, it's going to be off by that couple of millimeters or so. So let's do that now. Thumbs up. All right, we're back down on the ground. It's a little bit awkward on that ladder. Safety third while trying to videotape. So now we need to work out which side we're going to be using as the face side for the ceiling. This side is actually clearly the better side. The other side has a lot more voids and caveats and all this kind of stuff I'll have to fill with some filler. So I'm going to use this one. Now we're going to orient it down on its face and cut out some of those notches to work around those beams. Now make sure you do this very carefully, just purely because if you get the wrong face, you're going to get the void side up and then you have to fill it in. I've done this so many times before when I was working on the van build. Just cut the wrong side and have to turn it upside down. It's super frustrating. So hopefully I don't stuff it up. But if I do, good thing it's on camera. So let's do that now. Hey, and welcome back. Day 2. I've had a few days off. I've had some other commitments to kind of address, but now I'm back in the workshop, and today's primary objective is to get every single sheet up on that ceiling ahead of this long weekend. We've got 3 days where it's going to be 38 degrees, which is in Fahrenheit. So, because we have those 3 days, it's a really good opportunity for me to really clean this floor in preparation for that epoxy flooring. So that's going to be my next video, but let's stick with this one for now. I'll cut to the time lapse and let's get on with it. Excellent, I love having problems. So what we've got here is, as soon as we put these 2 sheets together, we have a slight gap and they don't quite line up very well. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to get a bit of 15mm plywood as a bit of a backer, glue it, screw it, and then those 2 sheets can line up easily. And then I don't have to have anything on the outside as a bead or any timber on the outside to have them line up, because I want that smooth look. And eventually I'm going to put some filler in there, dry it, sand it, and then paint this entire ceiling white. So hopefully you shouldn't be able to see those seams too much, but we'll see. Let's get to it, eh? you know, as that age-old saying goes that I made up a little while back, every new project is a great excuse to buy a new tool. So I got myself a little laser level. Let's check it out. So, what's that age-old saying that I just made up? Measure twice, cut once, measure again, go back to Bunnings. I'm done. Wow, that took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. All up, probably about 2, maybe 2.5 days. I thought it was going to take half a day, maybe one whole day. But the difficulty in working on the ceiling is really crazy. Up and down the ladder all the time. But it's fine, it's done, it's cool, all good. I'm done now. There's a few little gaps here and there where the sheets are kind of misaligning, but most of that is going to be fixed up when I put the walls up, and it'll be butting up against the edges there, so it'll kind of whack it into line. But I'm done. Ceiling's done. Next thing, I have the rest of the weekend. It's meant to be ridiculously hot here in Australia, so 38 degrees, which is in Fahrenheit. And working in a tin box is probably not going to be the best thing. So what I'm going to do now is focus on the epoxy floor. So I've got to get rid of all the junk that's inside here, clean the floor, wash it, let it dry for 24 to 48 hours, and then I'll put the epoxy on. So thankfully it's a long weekend. I'll have a 3-day weekend. I'll make the best use of it. So I'll see you in the next video where I'm going to be going through the floor, and I can't believe I'm done. Holy moly. Whew. See you in the next one. Bye.